Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It is an honor to be here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and esteemed participants. My name is Karen Carrier, and I will be co-moderating today's event. With me is Dr. Saad, who will be co-moderating with me as well. Now, we are thrilled to be here at the Africa Pavilion during COP28, as we know it, for the YouthADAPT Awards ceremony. Today isn't just a celebration. It's a testament of African Development Bank Group's commitment to sparking the entrepreneurial spirit of Africa's youth, especially the incredible women driving innovations in climate tech. Now, our youth aren't just facing climate change. They're making waves as change makers, entrepreneurs, and innovators. The YouthADAPT initiative, a pillar of the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program, is all about amplifying transformative youth innovations for climate action. We're talking about teaming up with youth-led enterprises, including exceptional women-owned businesses. The Jobs for Youth in Africa initiative by the African Development Bank is a game changer for tackling youth unemployment. Now, imagine this. In Nigeria, we've got a youth-focused agribusiness incubation center cooking up the next generation of agri-visionaries. The Youth Entrepreneurship and Innovation Multi-Donor Trust Fund is rocking digital skills and entrepreneurship. Take Tunisia. The Enable Youth program is like a digital revolution. In Africa, we're teaming up with local tech hubs, turning our youth not just into a digital economy, but into the shapers of it. Now, these initiatives aren't just programs. They're African Development Bank saying, let's equip our youth with everything that they need to tackle the modern world. They're pathways to empowerment, gateways to success, and proof that when vision meets action, magic happens. The numbers from YouthADAPT cohort speak volumes. 123% average revenue increase, 12% average profitability boost, 8,577 jobs created, 316,000, $874,000 leveraged from external sources, and 20% expanding into new markets. It's impressive, isn't it? Now, we're excited about the upcoming dialogue with youth, exploring how to scale up youth-led climate businesses through a $1 billion YouthADAPT fund. It's a crucial step in shaping the future of climate action in Africa. A very, very big thank you to the Africa Climate Change Fund of the Africa Development Bank and the Global Center on Adaptation. Together, let's accelerate impact and unleash Africa's youth potential. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much for attending. And to start off with a keynote address, we have with us a champion, a leader who's been mobilizing resources to support and invest and trust in African youth and their entrepreneurial potential. A big advocate for African resources, opportunities, and agriculture and entrepreneurship as well as agriculture as opportunities for us to grow as a continent. I have the pleasure to welcome today a keynote from His Excellency, Ms. Dr. Adesina Akinwumi, the President of the Africa Development Bank. With your applause, everyone. Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me? Times is noisy here. Yeah. First, let me welcome you all to this particular event today, which is about the YouthADAPT Award Ceremony. we started this YouthADAPT award ceremony at, we did one at COP27, we did one at COP26, and this one is all about women. So if you're a woman and you're in the hall, can you just give a shout out, because that's very important. You know, as I always say, that Africa is run by women. More of them should be run by women, because if they are run by women, we will not have a lot of the challenges we are having, you know. Because, well, welcome to this. You know, the young people, they are not the future of Africa. Everybody keeps saying everything good is always going to be in the future. No, we have to discount that to the present. Sheer numbers that we have is actually an asset for us. 477 million young people that are between the ages of 15 and also 25. And that means that we have to harness their ideas, their creativity, their entrepreneurship, their desire and their zeal to make a better life for themselves, but also to make a better life for their own future and also for the continent. And so I can't think of anything more important than Africa focusing on its young population. If we don't, the consequences are going to be quite dire for us, because we see that in people migrating to Europe. And I don't believe for one second that the future of Africa's young people lies in Europe. It doesn't lie in America. It doesn't lie in Asia. It lies in an Africa that's growing very well, able to create decent quality jobs, able to create the skills and prepare the entrepreneurial talent of its young people, and also then able to create the financial ecosystem that allows them to turn their ideas into great businesses. Now, if you run an economy in which majority of your population is young, actually the best way to run that economy is to create youth-based wealth. Because who is going to pay for retirement of all the older guys? It's all going to be the young people. So all I want to start with by saying that this event today is so important, is that I'm glad that so many young people are here, is that the young people must be at the heart of planning, of governance, of everything that we do, because that future we're talking about, it's now. And we have to actually tap that for the young people. If you're a young person in the house, including myself, can you give a shout out to yourself? I'll shout out to myself. You know, I wish I was your age, but actually when I was your age, I also done quite a lot of things. Now, I want to say a few things about what the African Development Bank is doing to support young people and how seriously we take this. We have what's called Jobs for Youth in Africa strategy, and also skills for employability of young people on the continent. That strategy, we have an ambition. That ambition is to be able to create 25 million jobs for young people. And because skills, talents, competence are very important in the labor market, we're using that also to be able to reach 50 million people to have the right kind of skills that allows them to go into the labor market. And I'm really very delighted that today at the African Development Bank, because of our focus on this, since we started in 2016, a year after I was elected president, first time of the African Development Bank, we've already created 15 million jobs through our own investments at the bank. You know, and those is 4 million jobs that are actually really formal jobs, and the rest of it, maybe 5 million jobs that are formal and 10 million jobs that are basically indirect jobs through the projects that we have. Today at the African Development Bank, if you are coming to our board and you don't tell us how your project is going to affect women, you cannot get anything right through our board. That is how accountable we are in terms of supporting women on this continent. And now we are working with the International Labour Organization to make sure that every project, everything that we do as a bank has to be indexed to show how will it benefit the young people. And so we are actually not taking the young people as something that we just say, well, give them some kind of dollars. No, the young people don't need handouts. They need to be taken seriously. They need to be at the heart of planning, decision-making, and also a lot of the financing that we do. Now, many of you are here today, before I talk about the events for today, And I hope you know agriculture is cool. Anybody here think agriculture is not cool? No, let me see. Who likes agriculture here? Let me see. Oh, good. I'm making progress every year. Agriculture is the coolest business that you can have. Nobody smokes gas. All the gas that we have is good. Nobody also drinks oil, but everybody eats food. And the doctors will tell you, take 3 tablets 3 times a day, but only after what? After food. So agriculture market is very important. It's going to be worth $1 trillion by 2030. So we need young people moving into agriculture as a business. And that's why for us at the African Development Bank, we launched a program called Enable Youth. And that Enable Youth program is to get young people to understand the skills to develop, whether you're a farmer, whether you're agribusiness, any part of the value chain. We've already invested $490 million into that program. We supported 41,000 young people to become what they call agripreneurs, and they've created about 61,000 jobs. But we went further than that to now begin to say, how do we get what they call it, agri-pitch, where the young people now come together to pitch their businesses. And then they get awards from the bank that allows them to incubate their businesses, they move them up to get access to even greater financing. One of them is a company called, Relief. It's a company run by a young guy that's now secured $7.8 million of financing after having been selected from the program that we have. The other part of actually doing this is the YouthADAPT Awards. Because the future that we are talking about, whether it is 2063, whether it is 2093, I won't be around. I don't plan to be around. But the young people of today are going to be around. So therefore, we have to put them at the center of creativity, of looking at solutions to climate adaptation. That's actually why I'm delighted that ourselves and the Global Center on Adaptation, my friend and brother Patrick Vakuijen couldn't join us here today because he has another function that he has to be. Otherwise, both of us will have provided joint renewable energy sources for this meeting today. So I miss not having him here. But we decided to start this YouthADAPT Award ceremony. Since we started it, we've had a whole range of businesses in it. Guys that are looking at water-efficient solutions. Those that are looking at how to do circular economy and recycling stuff. Those that are looking at how to get climate-resilient seeds, drip irrigation out to farmers. Those that are doing waste management. Those that are, in fact, there's one that's looking at how to do rain harvesting, water harvesting, and turning that into drinkable water, right? There are those that are using artificial intelligence, robotics, and so on in agriculture. That's what is going to make it digitally driven solutions to climate change, which we suffer a lot from. So I just want to say that I'm very excited that we are now in our third session, and that at this particular event today, we will be unveiling this time, I think for how many? 8 businesses, and they are all going to be women businesses. Woo! So I'm looking forward to that unveiling of that. I think that's very important. The last thing I want to say is that the African Development Bank and the Global Center on Adaptation, we've decided that for all these businesses, and you were saying that in your remarks, that they have increased their revenue by 123%, and they've expanded to other countries and all of that. We need more financing at scale. And so we are working to be able to mobilize $1 billion that can support the businesses of young people at scale. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you for all of what you do. And as I said, you, the young people, you are the heartbeat of Africa, and it has to continue to beat. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Akinwumi, for those amazing remarks. Saad, as we go on, I'd like to ask you a question. You know, we were talking about agriculture, and the conversation on food really got me hooked. So Saad, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food is what I had in the Africa Climate Summit when I was in Nairobi. It was the goat meat with, that was really special. I don't recall the name, but that marked me.
Yes, and that is why agribusiness is important. We need more goat meat. So, it is an honor to call on behalf of Professor Dr. Patrick Verkooyen. We have with us an exceptional lady who is making moves in the private sector and emerging economies to boost their macroeconomic development, and I can see her blushing, you deserve to, through entrepreneurship and job creation. Please welcome on the stage Aramide Abe, the global lead of jobs and entrepreneurship at at Global Center on Adaptation. Please.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aramide Abe. I'm the global lead for jobs and entrepreneurship at the GCA. Together with the African Development Bank, we've been running this program, the YouthADAPT, under the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program, which is an MOU between the AfDB and the GCA. And I will be speaking on behalf of our CEO, Prof. Dr. Patrick Verkooyen, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. So here I go. Excellencies, distinguished guests, friends, it's an honor to speak at this YouthADAPT Awards ceremony. It may be a relatively new event, but genuinely we feel that these awards have established themselves as one of the highlights of the very busy schedule we find ourselves at COP. And I'd like us to give President Adesina a round of applause and Dr. Verkooyen for that, because now the YouthADAPT Awards ceremony is a thing at COP, and it will happen every year, so thank you for that. So remind me why we're here. We're here because of you, our youth, Africa's young, vibrant, entrepreneurial generation. And you are Legion. There are more than 1.4 billion young Africans, and you are the most educated in the continent's history. With your lofty aspirations and boundless potential, one is left reflecting, well, with this amount of talent, how can Africa fail? You hold the keys to unlocking the boundless potential of your great continent, of our great continent. Now, don't let us get carried away. Chief among the obstacles is the lack of access to finance, to infrastructure, to the kind of specialist essential support that businesses need to develop. Businesses that have the potential to turn climate challenges into opportunities. Consider this alarming statistic. Between 2020 and 2030, Africa requires an estimated $579.2 billion in adaptation finance. Yet, in 2019 to 2020, the continent received a mere $11.4 billion. If the current rates of adaptation financing persist by 2030, Africa will have received less than 22% of what it needs in funding. The Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program, the AAAP, has stepped into this yawning gap. It's where our organization, the GCA, works hand in glove with President Adesina at the African Development Bank. The AAAP was conceived in Africa, born in Africa, and helping to grow a strong, vibrant, and resilient Africa. The AAAP aims to mobilize $25 billion by 2025. A round of applause again. Specifically directed at climate change adaptation action, the length and breadth of Africa, and the advances that the continent is already making, thanks to the AAAP, can be seen here today. We launched the African Youth Adaptation Solutions Challenge in 2021, like the President said at COP28, to support young entrepreneurs and African micro, small, and medium organizations, enterprises in scaling up adaptation solutions. What we offer is grant funding, skills, acceleration, business and mentorship support. And with these tools, dreams get turned into reality. It's invidious to have to choose these examples, but purely for the sake of giving you a flavor of the talent we are discovering, I will mention a couple of fantastic thriving businesses from last year's winners and the previous year. Bleagley Waste Management was founded by Juveline Ngwum Ngwa. It uses drone technology to identify and collect sort of waste that regularly causes floods to happen. With the support of a YouthADAPT $100,000 grant, Bleagley expanded its operations into Douala, Cameroon, the economic capital, and constructed a new waste processing plant. The company's staff quadrupled from 31 to 124, with 52 new jobs created for women. Bleagley has experienced an astonishing 181% growth in annual revenue since being a part of the YouthADAPT program. Then there's Erie Hub, a Kenyan company that is transforming farmers' productivity with climate-smart irrigation technology. It's led by Eric Busire. Before joining the YouthADAPT Challenge, Erie Hub was operating at a loss, but YouthADAPT helped transform Erie Hub's fortunes with a remarkable annual revenue of 435%. And this is just a tip of the iceberg. To date, the YouthADAPT Challenge under the AAAP has invested close to $4 million in 33 enterprises across 19 African countries. 50% of the enterprises we support are owned or led by women. We are not stopping there. This is just the beginning of great things to come. Investing in youth enterprises is about unlocking job opportunities, growing economic opportunities, while at the same time building climate resilience. In fact, because we don't have enough time, tomorrow we will indeed launch the YouthADAPT Challenge Impact Reports, which highlights the successes and wins of the YouthADAPT program at the Children and Youth Pavilion tomorrow morning. So if you're available, please attend. To round up, I'd like us to acknowledge the champions of this great initiative, Dr. Akinwumi Adeshina and Professor Dr. Patrick Vercoyen, with another round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those wonderful remarks. And now we will be watching a very quick video on the YouthADAPT early results, entrepreneurial spirit of African youth in driving climate action. Please enjoy.
Where the need for urgent climate action is paramount, the African Development Bank Group, in collaboration with the Global Center on Adaptation, is leading the charge with a groundbreaking initiative, the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program. Meet the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program, or AAAP for short. This audacious initiative is set to revolutionize the fight against climate change by mobilizing a staggering $25 billion. Its mission? To supercharge and expedite climate adaptation efforts across the African continent. At the heart of AAAP are 4 groundbreaking flagship programs, each designed to tackle critical climate challenges head-on. From ensuring food security to fortifying African infrastructure, from driving innovative finance solutions to powering the youth for climate resilience through entrepreneurship, AAAP is paving the way for a greener, more resilient Africa. With the AAAP's YouthADAPT flagship program, a transformative journey unfolds. The aim? To equip the next generation of African youth for a future that's both green and resilient. Through social entrepreneurship and innovation, the program empowers young minds to combat poverty, elevate their quality of life, and drive positive change. With an investment of $5.1 million, this initiative is already changing the game for 33 young entrepreneurs across 19 African countries. The numbers paint a vivid picture of success, an astonishing 123% average increase in revenue and the creation of over 8,500 direct and indirect jobs. But the impact doesn't stop there. The ripple effect extends far and wide, with an additional $316,874 pouring in from external sources. The result? An incredible 20% expansion in enterprises, igniting a chain reaction of growth and transformation. With an unyielding focus on empowerment, YouthADAPT offers game-changing business grants reaching up to $100,000 each. But it doesn't end there. Each recipient gains exclusive access to a transformative 12-month Business Accelerator program. Through this accelerator, young entrepreneurs not only scale their businesses, but also deepen their impact on society. More than just profit, it is about creating decent jobs that uplift their communities and drive positive change. Journey with us into a world of innovation, where the future is being shaped by the hands of African youth. These visionary entrepreneurs are at the forefront, leading the charge in crafting climate adaptation and resilient solutions. From the heart of agriculture to the pulse of vital economic sectors, their impact is undeniable. In the face of climate change's harsh realities, they're not just adapting, they're thriving.
At Casvita, we invented a novel post-harvest technology for increasing the shelf life of cassava from 3 days to 18 months.
And while I was very young, I experienced a lot of flooding and other climate scenarios caused by poor waste disposal that was clogging drainage channels. And from there, I decided to find a solution that could solve these multi-climate hazard scenarios. And that's where I came up with my company, Blakely Waste Management and Recycling Company. We are using software or drones to quickly inspect poor waste disposal on drainage channels and other physical sites. So our software guides drones along trajectories that finds poor waste disposal from collected images and outputs reports, providing early warning to flooding and other climate scenarios caused by poor waste disposal. It's an artificial intelligence software that when we get the data from the software, it can be shared with government, city councils, municipalities to help them to make better decisions on how to schedule site cleaning, where to place trash cans, and how to educate communities about the benefits of proper waste disposal.
Amaya is an application that allows agricultural advisors to stay in touch with their farmers in real time to help improve their yield and their product quality.
We combine the use of AI-powered satellite imagery analytics and IoT sensor, which is solar-powered, to detect crop pests and diseases early enough and to reverse soil degradation for smallholder farmers to end hunger in Africa.
GCA has been really essential in positioning our business globally. One of our recent milestones is with Amazon, where we are able to scale into 7 major markets around the world, including the UK. With this, we'll also be able to reach a monthly recurrent revenue of about $700,000. And beyond that, we'll also be able to establish key partnerships with retailers, B2B partners, distributors, and many more.
In the midst of the climate crisis, a powerful truth emerges. The vigor, ingenuity, and unwavering resolve of our youth stand as formidable forces driving change. It's not just about talking the talk, it's about walking the walk. By championing climate action at the grassroots level and directly empowering our youth, we unlock a fast track to meaningful impact. The dividends are threefold, each more impactful than the last. Firstly, we witness the rise of a new income-generating era for our youth. Secondly, the birth of sustainable jobs that resonate beyond the present, nurturing growth and stability. Lastly, the very fabric of communities on the climate's frontline grows resilient, standing tall against the challenges of tomorrow.
As you can see, young Africans are like maize seeds that if you nurture them with resources, invest them and support them, they will grow and feed our continent into development and sustainability. I know that everyone is waiting to meet and to see the results of the competition and to meet our inspiring African women leaders. And for that, I have a pleasure to call into the floor a mentor for many young African leaders, advocates who's been pushing for youth entrepreneurship and engagement in the continent. Ms. Edith Adera, the coordinator of the AAAP in the AfDB, join us to give us into the YouthADAPT Challenge.
Thank you very, very much. I'm extremely excited today to unveil the winners for this year. But before I do so, I really would like to thank Dr. Adesina, who has really been encouraging us and pushing us along. You will remember last year, I mentioned that at this pace, it will take us 500 years to get to 10,000 entrepreneurs. But with the launch of the 1 billion fund, it will take us 5 years. So we are really calling on partners to join us in this journey. It definitely pays off. And to me, what I say is that when you invest in young people, you get 3 dividends. 1 is that you create income for them. 2, they create jobs. And 3, they build resilience at the community level. And you see results rapidly. You don't have to spend many days in COP. Like we know we're in COP28, we do not know where we'll end. But if you invest in young people, you see results in less than 2 years. So this is the place where we should put our money. Thank you very much. So with that, before we unveil the winners, I'd just like to take you through the process that we went through in selecting the 8 winners today in a list of very many, very promising innovations in the continent. I will start by just mentioning that this year we decided to focus on something unique. We know that young people are using technology in very innovative ways. We say, why don't we look at frontier technologies that are being used at the grassroots level that's making a great difference and that's being led by young people and women at that. So we're looking at 4th industrial revolution technologies. How are they being employed at the grassroots level? So this year, if I have the previous slide, we did an application and we had 223 applicants from 35 countries in the continent. We then have various categories of technologies that are being used. Very impressive. There's Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, additive manufacturing, big data, blockchain, and other technologies that are actually being used by young people to make a difference. In terms of the sectors, majority are in the agricultural sector. And you're right, that's the place to invest. We had some in biodiversity and conservation. We had those in disaster and disaster risk management. We had those in forestry and health. Very interesting sectors where technologies are being used to address climate change. We then went through a process where those from 223, we cut them down to 149 based on the eligibility criteria. We then had a due diligence process where we actually had experts go to the ground, see that these businesses actually exist, that they have the records, and that they're doing what they say they are doing on paper. So it was very, very rigorous. We then had a jury of 11 very prominent, respected individuals from Africa and beyond Africa who were jury, who went through the process. We had 25 shortlisted candidates. We gave everyone a chance, ensured we had country balance, and we ended up with the 8 winners that we will unveil today. So with that, I would like to call on my colleague from GCA, Aramide, to help us unveil the 8 winners. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm back. Hi, everyone. And so we will be unveiling the winners, the 8 winners for this year's YouthADAPT Award ceremony. And to remind you, they will go through a 12-month accelerator program. Special thanks to our partners at the KCIC. And also receive grant funding, which we, of course, work with them to set milestones, and we monitor the implementation as to them, expanding their businesses. So that's the process. So congratulations to the 8 winners again. I will now read out their names. Do we have the video? Okay. First winner from DRC, Deborah Nzarubara, ETS Grecum. Sorry, round of applause.
This is the YouthADAPT Award Ceremony, where once again we're focused on empowering and engaging African youth to scale climate adaptation innovations across the continent while combating poverty, creating jobs, and improving the quality of life for youth in Africa. Today, we celebrate 8 young women whose enterprises revolve around the 2023 YouthADAPT theme: Women-led frontier technologies and innovations for climate action in Africa. ETS Grancom, our first winner, is utilizing big data analytics through its Nuki Tech solution to provide real-time, mobile-based weather data to mitigate negative effects of pollinating bees, enhancing agricultural production and biodiversity conservation.
Le concours YouthADAPT, pour moi, comme je dis, ça représente une opportunité, ça représente vraiment une grande chose où on arrive même à dénicher les solutions, même pour les femmes, de petites solutions, même pour un domaine qui est souvent ignoré, l'apiculture dans notre pays. Et pour moi, vraiment, c'est une grande chose parce que la RDC est connue comme pays solution au défi du changement climatique, en oubliant que la protection et la valorisation des pollinisateurs est l'une des stratégies qui pouvait encore rendre notre fierté, qui pouvait encore rendre ces pays des solutions plus durables pour ces titres qu'il a déjà eu.
Congratulations, Deborah. Next winner, Miriam Chappie from Chappie Core Tech.
Merci beaucoup. Je suis très ravie pour cette opportunité. Et j'en profite pour remercier tous les partenaires qui ont mis leurs efforts pour que cette activité puisse avoir lieu. Premièrement, je tiens à remercier la Banque africaine de développement pour tous les efforts qu'il a fournis, mais aussi le Centre mondial pour l'adaptation qui a mis aussi ses efforts et les fonds pour le changement climatique qui a été pour nous un grand soutien pour aussi promouvoir les efforts des femmes en matière de la technologie et de l'adaptation climatique. Je me remercie, c'est une solution qui vient vraiment répondre aux défis climatiques, premièrement en RDC qui est un pays solution, comme je vous l'ai dit. Merci beaucoup.
Félicitations. Next winner, Eda Wanjiru Arifu Technologies, Kenya. Okay, I think we have one or two of them live. Okay.
Next, meet Chappie Core Tech, accelerating access to finance for over 5,000 women farmers. Their USSD-enabled web platform Ease on Track has been used to facilitate $100,000 in finance for women farmers, enabling farmers to adopt clean energy technologies to increase agricultural productivity in Zambia.
YouthADAPT means growth. It means a transformative opportunity to receive essential support. With 5,000 farmers registered on our platform, the YouthADAPT program represents a crucial step in realizing our vision to support more communities. It provides not only financial assistance, but also the capacity building needed to scale our operations and create a long-lasting change.
Round of applause again for her. Eda Wanjiru Arifu Technologies, Kenya. Congratulations, Eda. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, congratulations.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity given to us. We're so happy that we had this support from every one of you, and we're lucky to be the winners. Looking forward to working with you and empower more women in the communities as you have done to us. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Of course, we couldn't have all of them here today, and so we have one or two of them virtual, and the rest we have videos of. Next up, Fatoumata Diaby, Jeune Agro-Innovator, Mali. After that, we have Beth Koigi, Magic Water, Kenya, just to prep you.
Presenting our third winner, Arinifu Technologies, creators of both the Smart Brooder and Cuckoo Smart. The Smart Brooder is a digital mother hen that uses the Internet of Things to regulate temperature and humidity in poultries, while Cuckoo Smart is a smart poultry management application that provides farmers across Kenya with operational insights.
YouthADAPT is a very amazing opportunity for us here at Arinifu. First of all, we are very honored to win the award. And for us, it's a chance to connect with like-minded people, but also learn more about the adaptation space, because it's something that is becoming more and more talked about because it wasn't as common in the past. And we're just trying to use the technology that we come up with to improve this productivity for our farmers despite this changing climate.
Round of applause. And the next winner is, so I'll let the videos announce. Next winner.
Thank you very much for this honor. We are very honored to have won it, and we seek to have more youths employed in this space, more women be empowered, and we're very honored to be part of the YouthADAPT Challenge. Thank you.
Congratulations again. And the next winner.
Next, Jeunesse Agro-Innovateur du Mali, transforming an ecological challenge into a catalyst for food security in Mali. Their innovative approach converts the invasive water hyacinth plant into high-quality compost through a controlled degradation process aided by the e-compost software, accelerating sustainable agriculture in Mali.
En tant qu'entrepreneur, le YouthADAPT Challenge représente beaucoup pour moi. En fait, c'est l'opportunité que j'ai toujours attendue. Il va me permettre de mieux monter en croissance mon entreprise et obtenir mes objectifs et être une référence dans l'innovation des pratiques et produits agricoles innovants.
Congratulations again, Fatimata. We now hear a few words from her.
Bonjour à tous. Je vous remercie beaucoup pour cette grande opportunité qui va permettre de monter en croissance nos entreprises et promouvoir toujours une agriculture innovante et respectueuse de l'environnement. Merci.
Felicitations, Fatimata. And the next winner.
Next, Magic Water Technologies presents an innovative solution with their atmospheric water generator AWG system, utilizing advanced condensation methods to harvest moisture into water directly from the air. This technology, once used for military off-grid operations, is now aiding drought-affected farming communities in Kenya.
YouthADAPT is coming here to catalyze or to enable youth to take this solution to market and commercialize these solutions in the market. And how the funding will assist us, it's having more penetration into this market because being a social enterprise, it's quite difficult. And the way we have a payback model where we install the system and then get payment after some time. So this funding will make it easier for us to penetrate more market, and especially in low-income communities that we work in.
Round of applause for her. Can we have her unmuted?
For us, this is a huge opportunity to increase our impact. And we are looking forward to the next 12 months and hoping that we are able to increase our impact twofold or threefold or more. So thank you so much, and it's such an honor.
Round of applause for her again, please. And the next winner.
Chem Agro is revolutionizing beekeeping in North Kivu in DRC. Their innovative ApiConnect app, utilizing machine learning, optimizes beehive placement by analyzing environmental data, helping to boost honey production and food security.
Ces concours représentent pour moi une grande opportunité au niveau de la reconnaissance. Bien sûr, en étant dans ces programmes, cela me permet d'être reconnue et mon entreprise sera vue par un grand public, ce qui constitue une augmentation en authenticité. Mais aussi la formation qui nous sera donnée sera en train de m'aider enfin de m'améliorer pour que mon entreprise aille de l'avant et que cela contribue au développement de mon pays, de ma province. Mais aussi le prix que vous comptez nous donner pourra m'aider à élargir mon cercle d'activité. Par exemple, je voudrais élargir le nombre de mes ruches qui étaient à 100 jusqu'en ce moment. Nous voulons atteindre un niveau de 600 ruches.
Round of applause for her again, please. And the next winner. Okay, well, sorry, we're going to have her come up actually.
Bonjour à tous. Je vous remercie beaucoup pour cette opportunité que vous nous donnez. Merci à cette opportunité que vous donnez à mon entreprise de pouvoir obtenir ce prix. Cela m'aidera à contribuer à l'avancement de mon pays et aussi de ma communauté. Je vous remercie beaucoup.
Round of applause. Next up, team.
Next, Onion Doctor stands out with their leveraging Internet of Things and machine learning to monitor onion crops for diseases and provide instant alerts to farmers, enhancing both sustainability and profitability for Kenyan farmers in the face of climate challenges.
YouthADAPT for me, it means opportunity for growth, and it also means a validation that whatever I am currently doing is a solution that can be accepted and be scaled globally. So in the future, I see YouthADAPT as an opportunity to learn and get mentorship from global people that on a normal day I would not get to. The funding is an opportunity for us to scale our innovations, to grow our innovations, and to reach more people. And eventually, I see YouthADAPT and I see an opportunity for a Kenyan brand to become a global brand. So I think I see YouthADAPT and I see that linkage to the global networks.
Amazing. Round of applause for her. We have her come up.
Thank you very much, YouthADAPT, for recognizing Onion Doctor and for the victory with this program. I believe through this program and the Accelerator program, we are going to grow our innovations and have more people onboarding and helping us improve our local production of onions to a greater scale. Thank you very much. And I look forward to the growth, to the mentorship, and most importantly, to creating more jobs for the youth in Kenya. Thank you.
And last, but in no way the least, final winner.
Finally, Green Eden Farms is transforming agriculture with Scaregrow, an innovative tool for blending artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. It offers farmers in Nigeria real-time insights for irrigation, pest control, and disease prevention, significantly enhancing productivity and strengthening food system resilience in the face of climate challenges.
For me, YouthADAPT is simply a game changer. My team and I are still recovering from the shocking news of my award. YouthADAPT represents an exciting opportunity for me to expand my scope and fight against climate change. It represents an opportunity for me to showcase the impact of my innovation on an international scale. It aligns with my mission of using innovative technology to tackle the problems of food insecurity, to empower farmers in Africa, and contribute to climate resilience in agriculture. Winning the YouthADAPT Challenge has further validated the importance of my work and my technology in addressing climate crisis and its impact on agriculture. I am so grateful and thankful to the African Development Bank for this opportunity. Dear honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am Stephanie Meltu, CEO and co-founder of Green Eden Farms Limited in Nigeria. It is an honor to extend our heartfelt gratitude on behalf of the Youth Adapt Challenge winners 2023. We extend our deepest appreciation to the African Development Bank, the Global Center on Adaptation, and African Climate Change Fund. With your support, we'll be empowered to elevate climate adaptation and resilience in African communities. Thank you, and we look forward to the acceleration phase of this challenge.
A round of applause for all of the 8 winners. As you can see, they're all young, vibrant women in agri-tech. So congratulations to all of them. Tackling climate adaptation and resilience challenges on the African continent. I think there are 1 or 2 who are going to speak on behalf, just to give a vote of awards thanks. So let me call on Deborah. Are you live? Can you hear me? Okay. Please go ahead. Il faut continuer.
Oui, merci beaucoup pour la parole. Comme je disais tantôt, je remercie sincèrement cette opportunité que je viens d'avoir et cette occasion de présenter une solution qui m'était toujours, et je savais que ça pouvait répondre à un besoin réel au défi du changement climatique dans notre pays, YouthADAPT. Et dans cela, je continue encore à remercier tous les autres partenaires qui nous ont aidés. Et je sais qu'avec notre solution innovante, ça va permettre que l'impact climatique dans notre zone soit vraiment réduit et puisse avoir des résultats très attendus du point de vue climatique. Je vous remercie infiniment et je sais que YouthADAPT, c'est une solution appropriée et adaptée pour nous les femmes et surtout au défi du changement climatique dans notre province particulièrement et dans notre pays en général. Je vous remercie.
Félicitations à vous encore. Merci, Deborah. Can we call on Stephanie from Nigeria to give your final thanks on behalf of the 8 of you? Thank you.
Yes. On behalf of myself and the winners of the Youth Adapt Challenge 2023, I want to say a big thank you to the African Development Bank, the Global Center of Adaptation, and the African Climate Challenge Fund for believing in our ventures and technologies and also supporting our fight against climate change. We are very grateful. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Let me now call on the moderator.
Thank you very much. Congratulations once again to all 8 winners. It is lovely to see the amazing innovations that you are bringing into our world. Now, before we go, we cannot leave this place without a family photo with the 8 of them, even though they're online. So it is an honor to welcome on the stage Dr. Akinwumi Adesina to be part of this picture, Miss Edith Adera, and Miss Aramide Abe. Please join us on the stage.
Yes.
Somewhere in the center.
You can sit, you can maybe sit 3 of you.
You can take. It is also an honor to call to the stage Dr. Karaoke to be part of this photo. Please, sir. Yes.
It's okay here. Yes. President, after you. Go ahead.
Winners, please have your smiles on as we take the picture. Winners, we would like to ask you to wave to the camera and to wave to the audience. All right, let's do a high five instead. So a high five to the camera. Thank you very much. Winners, we're taking one more photo and we need you to show us another beautiful high five.
Amazing. Congratulations to the winners. Congratulations, and we hope to see them scale and succeed like their predecessors have done. And speaking of which, we have many predecessors and previous winners of the YouthADAPT. So in the next 15 to 20 minutes, what we will be doing is, of course, it's a youth session, so we will be entertaining an intergenerational dialogue between the youth winners and some of our experts and high levels about agriculture, agribusiness, and entrepreneurship. So without any ado, I would be the moderator of the panel, so calling into the stage our panelists who will be here with us today. So starting with the young winners. So my brother Fela Akinze, can you join us in the stage? And also Ghislaine, can you also join us in the stage? Next, I'll be calling my big young leader in the continent, Miss Chido Cleopatra Mpemba, the African Union Youth Envoy, who will be also with us in the stage. And of course, we have online with us the Miss Cheryl Orban, who is the Assistant Deputy Minister, Sub-Saharan Africa, Global Affairs Canada. And then from the Africa Development Bank, we have Miss Beth Dunford, who will be also joining us into the stage after your applause, everyone. Mike. Okay. Amazing, amazing. So I hope Her Excellency the Deputy Minister can hear us as well. I'll be entertaining the microphone kindly out. Yeah, I would kindly ask the speakers to put their headsets. If you have a headset next to you, try to put it. The mic to this one, as I'm trying to fix my microphone here. Yes. No worries. I will be moderating from here, which is also great. And as I'm asking our presential speakers to use their headsets, and I'm hoping that Her Excellency Deputy Minister can hear us online, we would like to, of course, start with our young winners and interact with them, ask them about their stories, their experiences, and also some of their challenges. So maybe Ghislaine, why don't I start with you? So asking you about what are some struggles and hurdles that you have encountered while you were scaling your climate business, and then from your experience, how can we established business and organizations better mentor and support young leaders in the climate innovation for long-term success? So Ghislaine, please, to you the floor. We will try to, again...
Yes.
Yes, I guess we are here to solve problems, and that's what we are doing here as innovators and problem solvers. So definitely we will succeed. And yeah, maybe we have this microphone which we can give to this lady.
Thank you, Said. Good afternoon. I'm Ghislaine Matieje, CEO and co-founder of Mumita Holdings. So what's Mumita Holdings? It's an agricultural company funded by the African Development Bank, the Global Assistance on Adaptation in the AAAP program. And what do? We work with smallholder farmers, women in rural settings who act principally in the African indigenous vegetable value chain. When I speak of vegetables, we see our local vegetables, but why this business? Why did we think about it? These vegetables are grown by women in villages, and most often than not, they have a problem of commercialization. And when they are found with the problem of climate change, the droughts or the floods, all of their produce go into the trash cans. How do we do it? How do we enable these women to live from agriculture? So my company, we work with these women, we buy these vegetables from them, we transform them to either frozen or dried vegetables for commercialization. Now this permits them to go beyond the geographical boundaries of market. Now the vegetables value is added, the price is added, and it can be sold beyond their communities. What are the problems we face? We have a lot of women. We can work with every woman in our community. But so far, we've left from 2,000 women we're working with. Presently, we're working with 3,800 women in cooperatives in Cameroon. And we are selling our vegetables at the national market in supermarkets in Cameroon. And we are looking forward to expanding our production and our commercialization to Europe and to the United States. But the biggest problem is, how do we get to these women? Our low-cost greenhouse technology, which has permitted them to produce seedlings even when there is rain, it is actually cheap, and it can be produced by the local community, by the carpenters in the village. That brings the aspect of sustainability, because even if we are not present, the carpenters in the village can help them build these low-cost greenhouses. And they can produce the seedlings, and when conditions become favorable, they transfer the vegetables to the farm. So there is constant production, and they are sure of a ready market for the commercialization of their products at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Ghislaine. And I would like to move to my brother Fela. I see you're wearing your business, your amazing sneaker, recycled sneaker. I wanted to ask you, gaining traction and investment to our businesses is usually a big challenge for us as young innovators. So would like to see if you have any strategies that you found effective around that.
All right, thank you. Thank you, everyone. My name is Fela, and I'm the CEO of Salubata. And at Salubata, our mission is to invent lifestyle technologies that help people and the planet. I used to work as an environmental scientist, and we faced problems containing PET bottles, PET bottles. I'd always known that the problem with these PET bottles is in their volume, and if we could crush the volume, we could almost end the waste. So I also had a background as a designer beyond that, and so we started thinking about what if we convert this plastic waste into shoes? And we also realized that the potential for impact is so huge. The global food market would, about 3 years' time, worth about $560 billion. And so we decided to occupy that niche. And since then, it's been really grown so far. Beyond that, the YouthADAPT actually helped us to validate our concept. I was supposed to move from I was the best student in my class from the University of Lagos during my master's and bachelor's. And I was supposed to probably run a PhD. That was the expected growth. But I decided to go another route. And for me, it's really about the impact I can make. And there's a particular part of the Bible that says, all is vanity. And I started asking myself, okay, what exactly do I have to lose if I venture into this? And the YouthADAPT helped to validate that. Now, beyond that, we moved to making shoes from plastic waste to looking at how we could. I would say that impact doesn't have to be small. It doesn't have to be ugly. And it depends all on the innovator. If the innovator doesn't have that dream to really think big, there's going to be a huge problem. Yes, you can impact a community, but then there's more potential to even impact the whole world. And so we at Salubata have big dreams, and so I'm the pioneer of that. Now, beyond the shoes that we make from plastic waste, now, there is an ongoing conversation
right now, particularly within the EU, that the plastics should be left the way they are. And because when you wash them, or when you wash them in the washing machine, they release microplastics. And so it said that it's more polluting for us to convert the shoes from plastics. Now, what we've done is we've gone to making the shoes in a different pattern whereby they release less of these microplastics. And we also let people know not to wash them. Now, we've gone beyond the fact that the shoes, when we're going out, we realized that Adidas and also the likes of Rothy's and also Nike later on were making shoes from plastic. And we started thinking about what we could do differently. And so we started thinking about what if we make these shoes modular? And the modularity really helped us stand out. And so right now, we scale into major markets, key markets within the EU, also in the US. By next week, we're actually launching in Los Angeles. And so for us, it's really been a huge opportunity being part of this. The YouthADAPT really helped us to also file 2 global patents. Now, one of the patents we filed is in the modularity of the shoes that are made from plastics. Now, I talked about the concept of the EU. We moved ahead to start thinking about what if we start tackling these plastics from the very source. And so companies like the bottling companies around the world, we started thinking about what if we develop a technology that could readily collect these plastic waste from their origin. And so right now we developed another technology known as supply chain. Supply chain is a blockchain-based technology where each plastic bottle has a unique identity. And so with this, you can readily recollect these plastics. Normally, it's done manually, but right now, with this data, you can readily collect these plastics anywhere. Lastly, I will also talk about the latest technology we're working on is a shoe that captures carbon. And so there are some pods we saw out there around looking at places like Hong Kong, places like New Delhi and London. I started thinking about what if we develop a shoe that could capture this carbon directly, and for every step you take, every mechanical action you take, you can readily offset or decompose the carbon to breathable oxygen. And so for us, this is the next level of impact, and that is intended to drive global growth. And so in terms of scale, I would say that what has really, really helped us has been our innovations. And so God said that I'll give you as far as your eyes can see. And so we can see the world and not just our community. I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Fela. Community engagement, partnerships and collaborations, very important aspects. Speaking of which, Assistant Deputy Minister, I would like to get to you. You know, scalability of young youth-led climate businesses in Africa is very crucial. So what role do you see international partnerships playing in supporting that? And then how can Global Affairs Canada more effectively align their efforts to support and empower young African innovators?
Thank you very much for the question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We're good?
Yes, yes, we can. Go ahead.
Wonderful, thank you. Distinguished panelists, partners, and especially those of you in the room and online who are in the youth category, warm greetings from snowy Ottawa, Canada. Although it is very early on Sunday morning here, I did not want to miss the opportunity to participate in this awards ceremony and this dialogue on challenges and opportunities for scaling up youth-led enterprises and innovation. I do wish that I was with you in person to congratulate the winners of the 2023 YouthADAPT Challenge. J'aurais aimé être avec vous en personne pour féliciter le gagnant du défi YouthADAPT 2023. And I have to note that this ceremony is a lovely follow-up to the side event at the Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi in September that was called Funding Challenges Faced by Youth Entrepreneurs and Innovators in Climate Action. I was there. I feel very fortunate to have been there participating in the event alongside Dr. Adeshina and Dr. Berkoyan and our own Minister for International Assistance, Minister Hussein, who spoke on a panel and was so enthusiastic about youth entrepreneurs and is a real believer. Canada has always supported initiatives that provide young women and men with opportunities to contribute meaningfully to their communities and their countries. Le Canada a toujours soutenu les initiatives qui offrent aux jeunes femmes et aux jeunes hommes la possibilité de contribuer de manière significative à leur communauté, et à leur pays. But we recognize that young African entrepreneurs can face challenges and hurdles, and that includes access to financing for innovative ideas in climate action. We know that those challenges can include, among other things, limited access to formal banking services, lack of established credit history, high interest rates, investor risk aversion, and limited opportunities for training and gaining experience and building skills. So together, if we are to unlock the potential of young African entrepreneurs and create an enabling environment for young people to thrive and to contribute, then we need to address these challenges, but also we need to invest in sustainable and inclusive growth. Because really, we are believers that when you invest in inclusive growth, you're accelerating development, you're distributing benefits more equitably, and therefore you are building domestic resources and capacities to tackle development challenges and to alleviate poverty. And we know that young African entrepreneurs can drive climate action in their communities, countries, region, and even globally. I mean, for gosh sake, I had no idea that Jews could capture carbon, so that's that's really incredible. So the key here is that we know that enabling environments have to be in place, and it's really why we are celebrating some of those entrepreneurs today. And it's why Canada supports inclusive growth that focuses on youth. I'll just give you a couple of examples of some of what we support as the Canadian government. So we're supporting a project in Senegal on the adaptation and valorization of entrepreneurship in irrigated agriculture. That's in partnership with Mennonite Economic Development Associates. And that project aims to improve the capacities of young people and women to gain market access and to operate agribusinesses involved in climate change, adapted value change. We're also supporting the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program, and this program focuses on 4 priority areas, including youth entrepreneurship and job creation, food security, resilient infrastructure, and innovative climate adaptation financing. So we are guided by the Government of Canada in our feminist international assistance policy. I've spoken about this before at the African Development Bank. And that means that we're supporting women and girls to be agents of change. And that also is included in climate action, because we know that when young women and girls are empowered to fully participate in social and economic lives of their families and communities, and that includes in the fight against climate change, this is the way that we can truly reduce poverty and spur inclusive economic growth. So the Government of Canada is committed to addressing climate change. We have committed $5.3 billion, that's Canadian funds, to support climate action work between 2021 and 2025. And that work is also including work that empowers and supports women and girls. And we also know that climate action solutions need to be based on sound data and evidence, and that they use that data to inform decision-making and planning. We also know that the design and development of innovative technologies is absolutely critical to achieving sustainable climate adaptation. So we are so happy to support the YouthADAPT program through the African Development Bank's African Climate Change Fund, and why I'm so pleased to join the awards ceremony today recognizing 8 exceptional women-led enterprises. We recognize your great climate action achievements, including through the use of innovative technologies. This award is evidence of your perseverance, your strength and determination. And I really encourage your work and your leadership. You are each role models, and you're inspiring me and you're inspiring young women to dream. We are so pleased to have been supporting the African Climate Change Fund since 2020. We've had a particular focus on gender-centered climate resilient initiatives. And also we're pleased to note the collaboration between the African Development Bank and the Global Adaptation Center, which Canada is also supporting through the African Adaptation Acceleration Program. And we're pleased to be working with many of you to address intersectional issues in Africa, including climate change, inclusive growth, job creation, and gender equality. We remain committed and determined to support the fight against climate change, including with a focus on Africa. And so with that, please let me end by once again congratulating the winners of this year's YouthADAPT Challenge. We are all so very proud of you. Sur ce, Permettez-moi de terminer en félicitant une fois de plus les gagnants du concours YouthADAPT 2023 de cette année. Nous sommes tous très fiers de vous. And I'll send it back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as said, it's very crucial for all of us to engage and support and invest in African young women and agro-entrepreneurship and business as a lever for us to grow our continent. Moving to you, Chido. Of course, you know that knowledge sharing as well as making sure to create an enabling environment for our young Africans to scale and implement their innovation is very important. And you've been working with many young innovators throughout the continent. So what kind of policies and actions are needed to create that enabling environment and to ensure that sharing between the young people?
Thank you very much. Well, first of all, I have such fond memories of the YouthADAPT Awards because when I got appointed as a Special Envoy on Youth by the African Union Chairperson, that was in November 2021. And my first ever speaking engagement was a YouthADAPT ceremony when, I interacted with my sister Aramide. So if you actually Google the first ever speaking engagement of the Special Envoy on Youth, it shows a YouthADAPT. So really honored for the third YouthADAPT award ceremony. I was there last year as well in Egypt. So I'm really honored with the African Development Bank for inviting me as part of this journey throughout the YouthADAPT Awards. And now to answer your question in terms of knowledge sharing, I just want to start off by saying before we speak of knowledge sharing, we need to look at how are people getting the information to the opportunities. For instance, not everyone has access to technology and information that we might be having here today. We have a lot of young people within marginalized communities, underprivileged communities, rural communities that might not have access to information, but are actually doing amazing things within, their own respective communities. And just to give an example specifically within the African Union, when I got appointed, and one thing that the chairperson said to me was, make sure you do not forget the marginalized communities, visit all these communities, young people that are affected by climate change, and get to see what they're doing and how we can fully represent them. So I embarked on a listening tour, which has been a continuous initiative within the office, where within this listening tour, we take a three-way model, a youth town hall meeting, a community engagement, and then I end with political and policy engagement. Now, I want to speak specifically on the community engagement, where within this community engagement, for instance, when we're in Nigeria, in Abuja, I visited a district, a Kudu district, which was specifically young women that had been affected by COVID-19 and had not been able to go back to school and had formed peer-to-peer learning mechanisms. And then when I went to Accra, it was a bit different, where, we sat down with young women, again from a marginalized community. These young women were also victims, or rather survivors, of early childhood marriage and, gender-based violence. But they'd formed a cooperative, and within this cooperative, they were selling shea butter to make a living. But I started thinking, imagine if these women actually knew about the opportunities that are available right now, what more they can do for their community, and what further impact that they can make. So we need to look at, in as much as, yes, we're going digital, everything is innovative, but then we also need to realize within Africa, we might need to go also the traditional way. Community mapping. How do we identify communities, a voice of the voiceless that might even have the solutions that we are struggling to find in Africa? So I think it's important, again, that we do not forget the marginalized, the underprivileged communities. Number two, when we talk about information sharing, I think it's important that we truly bring young people on the table. For instance, within my role at the African Union, I also advocate for the African Union Youth Charter, which is a charter that was literally our head of states came together and they agreed that we're going to have this charter as a way of developing our national youth policies. And part of my role is to advocate if, member states that have not ratified it, but also now holding them accountable to how are they implementing the youth charter. But again, when we are making these decisions, we don't have young people at the table. So it's important when we talk about information sharing, especially related to policy, that we bring young people on board. forward. Whenever we have meetings, let us make sure there are delegations with young people. I was quite impressed with the president of Tanzania, who sponsored 10 young people, most of them women, that have come with her to COP28, so that they could also learn, they can engage, and also get to see the decisions that are being made. Last but not least, if we look at the AfCFTA, I'm mentioning the AfCFTA specifically, as you might be aware, that the theme of the year of the African Union this year is accelerating efforts of AfCFTA, which stands for Africa Free Trade Area, Africa Free Trade, pretty much continental free trade, right? And I think it's important because when we speak about information sharing, how are we sharing information across countries and across different regions? Because you find in some places, we have regions that are amazing at stuff, right? For instance, when I've been to Kenya, we know that Kenya is a hub for tech. When you even look at the people that have won the awards, most of them are young women in Kenya because they're the hub of technology. When you look at Nigeria, most of them are also, entrepreneurial. So when we're talking about sharing information, how do we cross-share that information across regions, looking at best practice, looking at places that have done well in a specific way, or in this case, in technology, and make sure that that also creates impact, or rather best way of learning in other communities and regions that can also do the same.
Indeed, very much important. Engaging the communities, sharing, scaling, and very important, sharing information. Thank you very much. Last but not least, of course, we have Ms. Dunford from AfDB. We would love to hear from you as well. You know, very important, how can different stakeholders, including financial institutions, support the scalability of young African businesses, and as well as empower young African innovators on climate change. So would love to hear from you as well.
Well, thank you very much. And I think that the YouthADAPT awards ceremony is always one of my favorite events at COP. And I think because it gives us all hope. You see the ideas that are being deployed on the ground to really help Africans adapt to climate in really innovative ways. These are the kind of solutions we need, the kind of energy, the kind of ideas, entrepreneurship. And we just need to support these entrepreneurs at scale. And I think today we saw 8 women entrepreneurs doing very creative things with technology, with materials, reaching farmers in different ways. And I think that really making sure that youth are involved in the solutions, and particularly women are involved in the solutions, is critically important. 70% of Africa's farmers are women, but they're not always heard. They're not always, you wouldn't tell that from the conferences or the leadership meetings, because again, we need to make sure their voices are heard, they're heard, and we need women involved in solutions for helping Africans, and particularly African farmers, adapt to climate change. One of the key barriers to really getting women's voices heard, women's ideas, entrepreneurship heard, is lack of access to finance. There's a $42 billion gap in access to finance for SMEs, and a lot of that is women. Traditional financial institutions don't have the types of financial products that women need. And one thing that we're doing is through the Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Africa is really committing not only to working with women-owned SMEs to help make them bankable, but also working with financial institutions to help make them womenable. Do they have the types of products that women need? Do they know how to outreach to women so that they can really engage them in their financial products? So again, we need to make sure that finance is available to youth and to women to be able to enable these types of ideas that we've heard here today, get the financing they need to get to scale to really deliver the solutions that Africa needs to adapt to climate change. Thank you.
Thank you. And indeed, so much wisdom from this discussion. I hope we could take it even longer, but as time is running, some reflections that I was hearing about adapting financial mechanisms to the realities of young people, creating communities to facilitate sharing, and also making sure that the solutions are adapted to the realities of the local communities, and whatever programs should be always engage in different partnerships, both nationally, regionally, and continentally, with different stakeholders supporting. So in order to close this amazing session, which is celebrating our African innovating leaders, I would like to give the floor to my friend and sister Karen to close the session.
Thank you very much. Have you all been entertained and have you all learned today? Yeah. It's amazing to see the incredible things that youth can do when they are given the right resources. And with that, I would like to extend a very great appreciation to the organizers and to essentially the creators of the YouthADAPT, who have given so many youth around Africa a chance. And together we are weaving a narrative of empowerment, a narrative of innovation, and a lasting change. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Thank you very much for your unwavering support. And together, we will see Africa grow. Thank you so much.